You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith.
Hey there, Sprouts. Today is Wednesday, September 25th, 2019. This week on the Catholic Sprouts podcast, we are preparing for October, the month of the Rosary, by learning what it means to be a warrior of the Rosary. We have already talked about how the Rosary is our most powerful weapon, and a very real weapon at that. And we also learned how the Rosary is our way to honor Mary, that roses actually form every time we say these prayers and are taken to be crowned, part of the crown of Mary. Today we're going to talk about how the Rosary has offered incredible protection for those that have used it in the past. And we have two incredible examples to look at. The first example happened a long time ago. It happened in the 1500s. Now, this is a pretty big story, and it happened at what is now known as the Battle of Lepanto. What happened is that the Ottoman Empire, which was a mostly Muslim empire, during the Crusades, Christians had gone into the Holy Land and they had defeated the Muslims. They had pushed them back from what we call our holy places where Jesus had lived. Hundreds of years pass. The Muslims are much stronger, they have a stronger empire, and they are still quite angry about what happened during the Crusades. So the Ottoman Empire decides to attack the Christian world. They amass a huge army, huge battleships, and they decide to attack Venice, Italy. Now, the Christians were not prepared for this. They had over 12,000 fewer soldiers to fight than the Ottoman Empire did. The Pope was terrified, and in a very real way, everyone knew that if the Ottoman Empire won this battle, nothing would stop them from taking over the entire Christian world. And when they did, they would burn all the Bibles, get rid of all of the Christian traditions, and in a very real way, destroy Christianity. In fact, many historians say that if the Ottoman Empire had won this battle, none of us would be Christian today. Now, because of this, the Pope knew that he had to call on heaven to help. So what did he do? He instructed everyone to pray the Rosary. The soldiers that were fighting, those at home, everyone in the church, he instructed them to pray the Rosary. And as you can probably guess, even though the odds were against them, the Ottoman Empire was destroyed. The Rosary won. This battle happened on October 7th of that year, and October 7th, because of this, became known as the feast day of Our Lady of Victory. Now that feast day has been changed into Our Lady of the Rosary, because they mean the same thing. It was the Rosary that was able to bring victory to those defending the Christian world. The Rosary's power is real. In fact, the Pope at the time said that if you were to give him an army of men praying the Rosary, that he could conquer the world. And so maybe you're part of that army of men praying the Rosary. Now, I know that is a big example and it happened a long time ago, but the protection of the Rosary is still something that we can cling to. It is still a very real thing. In fact, in the 1960s, there was a man who was terribly evil, and he was going around and killing many people. One night, he went into a college dormitory, and while there, he hurt two girls, and he went to the next room to hurt the girl that was in that dorm. However, as he opened the door, a force threw him back against the wall, and he slammed into the wall and was knocked out a little bit. In fact, he never quite recovered, and it was then that the police finally were able to arrest him. The girl saw all of this happen. There was no explanation for it. She was really shook up, but when a priest finally came and talked to her, she told him that she had made a promise to her mother that every night before she fell asleep, she would pray the Rosary. And that very night, she had kept her promise to her mother. She had prayed the Rosary as she was laying down. And it was the Rosary that protected her. That evil man wasn't even allowed to come into her room. The Rosary has power. It is a special thing that Mary delivered directly to us. It is our lifeline to heaven. It is so powerful. And so, friends, today for your challenge, I would like you to start preparing for October, the month of the Rosary. If you or the adult that is with you check the notes for this podcast episode, you will find a calendar for the month of October. Print it out and use this as the way of tracking your participation in the Catholic Sprouts Rosary Challenge. I challenge you to pray all or part of the Rosary every single day of October. You can find all of the details there, but start preparing for it and start getting excited about having access to this amazing weapon, this amazing way to honor Mary, and this amazing protection that comes straight from heaven.
That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God intended you to be. As we learn so many amazing things about the Rosary this week, I want to remind you to pray the Rosary in your classroom, in your family, and on your own. To help you do this, we have all sorts of resources for you. First of all, the Mysteries of the Rosary board book set from Catholic Sprouts is on sale, and it is on sale for the cheapest price it will ever be through this week. Also, we will be hosting a Rosary Challenge for the month of October, which is the month of the Rosary. To find details on both of these things and many other Rosary resources, I encourage you to check the show notes for this podcast episode.